Continue. Hello. Hi, hi, hi. Hello. Hey. Sunset time here in the UK. Got the blue blockers on. Check. Yeah, the Wi-Fi's on. Don't care. I'm gonna do live. So, wow. There's so much that I always want to tell you guys. I don't know where to start sometimes. I don't know where to start. I'm a mile a minute brain, and in my simple way, I just want to reel off the information of all that I'm learning. But I've got to tame myself sometimes and assimilate what is the most beneficial things to talk about for you guys and for myself, and the things that are the most powerful to me. I'm always trying to learn. I'm always on a journey. I love it. It doesn't cost anything to experiment on my human body and to figure out the shit that works. For me, for you, my path might not be your path. You know, the things I preach, aged urine, grounding, sun gazing, nakedness, and transcendental meditation, and all the crazy shit, Tesla, crystals, orgone energy, fucking, what's that called? The name's forgot the name. What the fuck? Again? Tesla coils. Forgot the name of it. How bad is that, Harry? Tensor rings. There we go. Tensor rings. Yeah, might not be for you, but I think it's kind of cool to talk about this one to keep myself focused, because I do know what I'm going to say now is definitely 100% true in terms of cleaning up my bowels and cleaning up the colon and transcendental meditation. So how do I know that transcendental meditation, which is weird, we think about meditation as healing the brain, right? We talk meditation generally is like push-ups for the brain and not so much for the body, although it does help the body a little bit too. We don't really think of things like, oh, meditation can help my colon. Yes, it can. The most powerful meditations can help the colon. So let me tell you why I think I know. I can. Appreciate you watching, bro. So, if you haven't seen my previous video, it might help a little bit on the aged urine enema. I made the day before yesterday. I did a live, and it's on my YouTube too. I put it up today, yesterday, on the secrets of the aged urine enema, and which, to surmise quickly, aged urine is a very powerful medicine. When you put it up the bum, you won't be able to hold it in very long, dependent on how healthy your colon is at the state that you put the aged urine in. And if you continue with the practice, you can strengthen, like a muscle, your colon and be able to hold the aged urine longer, because your colon gets cleaner and cleaner, because then your aged urine won't pull out as much. It will just stay in longer and longer. Anyway, what I noticed was last January, when I was doing aged urine enemas, I couldn't hold them in for very long at all. It was really poor. Well, it was just a bad. I was into health then too, but I was just in a bad state. Really, not a healthy colon. Still healthier than the masses. So yeah, don't get me wrong. But compared to now, I noticed that video, and had to reflect back. What's going on? Why is the colon? Why is it that I can hold now aged urine enemas with the same aging, couple of weeks old? I can hold them in much longer, a couple of hours, as opposed to barely for like a minute without fucking major birthing pains. You guys will know if you do aged urine enemas what I'm talking about. And just because my colon, basically, to surmise, I've noticed that my colon has improved from last January to this January. From last year to this year. What's going on? Well, pretty much the only thing that changed last year that I added on, from being inconsistent and rarely doing meditation, to last August coming into transcendental meditation by divinity. I did that every single day. I've been doing it every single day, twice daily. Since August, and to be honest with you, most of the time much longer. Like this morning, I did 50 minutes without moving too. Oh man, you can amplify the transcendental meditation so much when you don't move. All meditations, well, apart from walking meditation, the move meditation, I mean all the still meditations, keep yourself fucking still. That's a hack and a half. You're going to bother doing transcendental, you might as well get the most out of it. Keep your body absolutely fucking still. Anyway, I did 50 minutes this morning. So yeah, I do about at least 40 minutes a daily, but to be honest, about 1 hour, 1 hour 20, sometimes 1.5 hours in total every single day, for instance, August. And that's the difference. Pretty much the only factor, apart from red light therapy, which I started in May, but I just don't think that's it. And I'll tell you why I reckon it's also transcendental meditation. It's cleaning up my colon and allowing me to hold my aged urine in much longer. Well, if we go back to the science, of which I wrote about in my Transcendental book, and I preached a lot, there's a lot of things going on with Transcendental meditation. They're amazing. Dopamine goes up a lot, which increases your testosterone levels. Your serotonin, for guys and girls, goes up a lot during Transcendental meditation. Your stress, cortisol, goes down like 30%, way more than sleep, which only does about 12%. It's fucking amazing. But here's the one. Here's the kicker, and reason why what's actually going the reason why transcendental is cleaning up the colon. How crazy is that? It's not even for the brain; it's for the whole body. Well, when we do transcendental meditation, a 20-minute session, within the first 3 minutes of a transcendental session, for the first 3 minutes onwards, what happens is the metabolic rate drops from normal, and metabolic rate is your rate of consumption of oxygen. Your metabolic rate, your resting metabolic rate, how low it is, will determine how long you live your life. It's also linked in with how slow your breaths are. How slow is your breath on a day-to-day basis is linked in with your metabolic rate, how much you consume oxygen. If you have a low metabolic rate, you will live longer than someone who has a high metabolic rate. People that die, diseases, have high metabolic rates at rest and breathe quickly, which is not good. It's okay to breathe quickly for Wim Hof and stuff, and for Kapalbhati, I mean at the resting state. Anyway, what transcendental meditation does is it lowers the metabolic rate, like, I don't think people understand this, so I have to keep repeating it again and again. Like, not just a little bit, a lot! Transcendental meditation lowers it a lot. So, what do I mean by a lot? Our metabolic rate lowers during sleep automatically. Automatic process. So from normal, call it 0%, it goes down to, in sleep, in the deepest level of sleep, your metabolic rate goes down to 8% below normal, which is a lot. 8% less your metabolic rate. So you're consuming 8% less amount of oxygen in your body when you during the deepest phase of sleep. It actually goes from 0 to 2 to 4 to 6 to 8%. Then during the peak of sleep, then it goes back to 6 to 4 to 2. Then you wake up at 0%. Then you're back to your day. Right? So 8% is a lot. That's one of the reasons why sleep is so fucking powerful. Right? It's awesome. But get this: transcendental meditation doesn't do 8% of lowering your metabolic rate. Oh, and you're not even asleep too. You're awake. It lowers it double that, 16%. It lowers it 16%. And yes, I'm not making this shit up. Go and look at the studies that have shown time and time again. It lowers it by 60%. Oh, and from your first fucking session of doing transcendental meditation, I don't mean you have to do 10 years of mastery of meditation to get to this level. No. From the people that do the first session, within the first 3 minutes, your metabolic rate drops. And in sleep, it goes like from slowly. So the first hour or two of sleep, it's like 4%, third hour, 6%, fourth hour sleep. So it's a slow transition from 0 to 8% below normal. In transcendental meditation, it drops within 3 minutes for the rest of your session. So minute 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. It drops to 16% below normal. Double that of sleep. What does that mean? It means that transcendental meditation makes you live longer because it's for the 20 minutes you're doing it, your metabolic rate is like double lower than sleep. You're consuming way less oxygen than even at your deepest rest of sleep. That's one of the reasons why people say do transcendental meditation. Talk about it, say as a catchphrase, and it's true, it's deeper than sleep. It's another state of consciousness. Yes, it is. It's deeper than sleep. Why? Because it lowers the metabolic rate double that of sleep. And what happens when you lower the metabolic rate? You live longer, you breathe slower, you breathe at like 6 breaths per minute, even if you were 15, 16 before. And what does that mean? Let's actually get to the point, Harry. Well, when your metabolic rate lowers to 16%, that means the whole body gets to clean house. Just like fasting. I don't actually know. I meant to Google for ages what fasting does. Fasting lowers, in my opinion, just as much the metabolic rate, maybe to 14, 16% too. More than sleep, I reckon. That's why we need less sleep when we fast. Well, we need less sleep when we do transcendental meditation too. So, transcendental meditation lowers your metabolic rate, your consumption of oxygen so much. It slows the breath down so much. Now your body has a chance to clean house. And here's the point. Now, your colon, gets the chance to clean itself of all the mucoid plaque. It gets the chance to digest properly, rest and digest more efficiently. The colon cleans itself up. Look, every single organ of the body and the whole house of the system, your lymphatics, your musculature, your fascia, your blood circulation system, everything gets cleaned up from transcendental meditation. It's not just for the brain, although it does magic. I'm talking for ages about just the brain stuff. It cleans up the colon. It's cleaning up my colon just from 2 times minute 20 daily. Yes, because it lowers the metabolic rate. Fasting. What happens when you fast? When you fast, the body is consuming so little oxygen compared to normal when you fast, because you're not taking up oxygen with food. When you don't take oxygen with food, you fast, now the body can utilize less and less oxygen more efficiently too. Well, same when you do transcendental meditation. For that 20-minute session, you're now consuming less oxygen. So now more oxygen is utilized and more can go to the colon to clean up. Every organ in the body gets more oxygen, and you need to use less. The less you use, the more longer you will live. Less is more with food, breatharianism, transcendental meditation, fasting. Anything that lowers the metabolic rate is what you want. You don't want a high metabolic rate. You want a low metabolic rate. People with high metabolic rates at rest won't live very long. So, there we go. That was it. How fascinating is that? I don't want to talk forever and bore you guys, but I just wanted to say that the transcendental really does clean up the colon. It's weird. It's fucking weird. It's not just for the brain and how awesome you feel in a different state of consciousness and lowering stress, dopamine, serotonin, testosterone. It's more than that. It's metabolic and metabolism and making you live longer from meditation. It's a very powerful meditation. I fucking love it and I always will. Vipassana too. I'm going to go deeper into both of those and maybe incorporate. I need to get back on Vipassana. I've been a bit naughty. Going to do 10-day Vipassana course and get back on that shit for sure. And then combine Transcendental. But Transcendental will always be a part of my life because here's the thing. It's for physical health, not just for your mental health. It's just one of those meditations that's not subtle, it's obvious, and it's easy to do. And I'll always love it. So you can teach anyone how to do it easily, experience the benefits, and clean up the colon. So that's a thing that people don't think about too. When they think about cleaning up colon, we can go for powerful shit like adherent enemas, which I talk about, enemas, distilled water, all that kind of shit up the bum. Brilliant, hardcore, go right to the colon, absolutely. But don't forget the things like transcendental meditation that seem to be cleaning up my colon when I commit to like twice daily. How crazy is that? You lower your rate of metabolism, you cure yourself of diseases, you give your body a rest, and your body can go to work doing what it does best. Boom. Alright, peace.